Hello there, welcome to So Sweet Sundays. I'm Sweet, and I have a special guest with me today. She is so dear to my heart. Um, Meeting her like 2 years ago,
Mhm.
we just instantly connected, and it is Marina. Some people be like, "Oh, I came to see Maria."
Oh
I'm like,
my.
"No, right?" I always get all offensive. Like, "No, her name is Marina.
Yes.
You're gonna have an interview with her. Know her name." They're like, "Well, this is what it says." But she is like so dear to my heart, so sweet, so kind. Her girls touch my heart in a certain way too. I always keep them up in prayer. Um, she's just amazing, just dope altogether. A single mom, holding it down. She works a lot. She's not lazy. Super dedicated, loyal, and faithful. She's a porter of what I do as well, and I just want to thank you for
Oh, yeah, of
always
course.
supporting me. And the times we talk at work, like we always be having that come to Jesus
I
moment.
know, right? And I have to say, I really appreciate those talks. Like, I was just thinking on Friday, and I really just appreciate talking to Joanna. Like, everything we speak on, it gets so real, and I feel like I don't have too many people to go to speak with about like anything that I'm going through.
Yeah.
And one thing I really appreciate with you is that you don't care if someone don't like what you're gonna say. You're gonna say it because they need to hear it.
Yes.
And I really like that about
Yes.
you.
Because it's like, how we gonna get better if
Yeah.
somebody don't hold you accountable?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's when it's my turn, I expect you guys to hold me accountable.
Of
You
course.
know, I don't. I think I need to check myself because what did JC say? He was like, "Who told you that you had things?" I said, "Ain't nobody needs to tell me. I told myself." Holy Spirit being my shondo, and
Yes,
I be like,
yes,
my shondo is feeling like,
yes.
be we'll be talking and laughing. What I appreciate about you is that you're a lover of God. Is that some people don't know that about you.
No,
Um,
they don't.
yeah,
You
and
have to
it's
really
like,
get to talking to me and getting to know me a little bit
mhm.
more before that side really comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But so many times like you're so on the go though too,
Mm-hmm.
especially at work because you have so much on your shoulders
Mm-hmm.
that you have to do and perform, and you're accountable for, you're responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes people don't really get that side of you, and sometimes you can't let everybody in like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because people are always watching and looky looing, trying to see what it's gonna be, what it's not gonna be. But I truly appreciate our conversations and our talks.
Yes, so do
Um,
I.
yeah, that we just get to sit and break bread and we laugh because
Yes.
I'm so crazy.
Yes, yes. I know you crack me up when you tell me your stories and
Right.
stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
I am beyond crazy, but I embrace my crazy.
Yes.
I truly embrace my crazy.
We gotta embrace everything about it ourselves.
Exactly, because if we don't, who else can?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I wanted to just that was just off the top.
Yes.
Just wanted you to know that I love you,
I love you
that
too.
you are so amazing. Like,
Thank you.
oh my God, I'm feeling tears right now because
Don't
I
you're gonna
feel
make me
like right.
cry.
It's like you are so dope. Like what I see for you and what I envision for you and what God has showed me for your path and your journey. And you and I have talked about it a lot of times, times when you come to me for advice, and I give you godly counsel,
Mm-hmm.
not fleshly or what I want to do or what I want to say. Just the amazing woman you are. Like, people are so blessed to have you around,
Thank you.
to have you in their corner. And like for you, when you rock with somebody, you rock with them wholeheartedly. It ain't no half thing, it
Yes.
ain't no wishy wash thing. It's like you love hard. I think sometimes that's a good thing and a bad thing.
I
Um,
agree.
yeah,
I agree.
but it's like, man, like the just pure dopeness of you, like the authenticness of you, the kindness of you, your laugh sometimes makes me laugh, the way you mother your kids,
Yes.
The way you even mother some of the kids at work. They be kids
Uh-huh.
at work, you know. How you take care of everybody. Like you're so nurturing, you know. And it's just like, and you know, a lot of me be like, girl, I couldn't do that field because she went to school and she's graduating May.
Yes.
Hey, in the health field, the healthcare field,
Hmm.
and it's like just the compassion that you have. And that's another reason why I think you so dope because you know I can't do it. I'll be like, I'm about to throw up on them when
Oh
they,
yeah. It's
no.
definitely a challenge, but there's just something in me where I'm like ever since I was like 16, I've always like wanted to be in that field,
Yeah.
and I just have like this passion for caring for others, and like I don't know, like I feel I have like a spirit of like a healer
Yes.
in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt like that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I agree with you, like, oh, I can't do that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, I just kind of get through it. I think taking care of my mom,
Mm-hmm.
it really prepared me for what I really want to do in life.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of times where I felt like sick, gonna get sick, and
Mm-hmm.
in the care that I was giving.
Yeah.
Um, but I got through it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, if I'm able to get through it that way, and it was caring for a relative,
Mm-hmm.
then I can definitely do that
Yeah.
outside of my
Yeah.
family as well.
That speaks to the the lover in you, how loving and kind you are,
Hmm.
because love covers
Yes.
those things that you can't get through, those things that you feel like, well,
Hmm.
who gonna do that? Pass that to him, cause I can't, you know. That speaks to that part of you is that lover, that kindness in you that that you push through, even in spite of what you feel or what you're thinking.
Yes.
So that's what I love.
That's
Um,
one thing I always tell my kids and tell myself is like, come from a place of love,
yeah,
no matter what.
yeah,
Like whatever the flesh is feeling and wants to say, I try not to go
mm-hmm.
there and just really come from a place of love.
And you do because when I've watched her so many times when you didn't have a kind word to say, you'll say, let me just shut up. And that's what you do to your face. Let me just shut up. Like you're pulling the words out of you. Um, and I'll just laugh, you know, because sometimes we all need to be like that. If you don't have nothing kind to say, just shut up. Just be like, sometimes I go, and it's
Yeah.
like, no.
Because you know what? I used to not be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say whatever was on my mind,
Yeah.
and I didn't care if I was rude or not or
Mm-hmm.
how anybody took it. But I went through some programs
Mm-hmm.
that taught me how to like deal with my emotions
Yeah.
better, how to let go of the past,
Mm-hmm.
um, help me be a more forgiving person and just
Mm-hmm.
a better person overall.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I went through those programs because I'm such a different person now.
Yeah.
I'm the same person,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just like a better version of myself.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And people, they're not used to it yet still,
Yeah.
and they'll get used to it because
Yeah.
this is who I am
Mm-hmm.
now. And if they're going to be in my life and me be in their life, then this is who they have to accept.
Bundle up.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you know how I always tell you, they shall live and not die.
Yes.
I say that all the time. But I'm glad that you chose the word of pass because what our topic is today is talking about being in a season too long, way
Okay.
past your time. And so, in saying that, can you think of a time when you've been in something way too long, longer than what you should have, and you knew in your shondo that you should go ahead and say, "May the Lord watch," but you didn't, and you stuck it out?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, I will say for myself, my relationships that were
Mm-hmm.
I was in.
Yeah.
I was with my kid's father for 15 years.
Wow.
And now that I'm older and I look back
Uh
and
huh.
why? Like, why did I stay there for so long? Like,
Right.
why did I deal with that? But I didn't know better then.
Yeah.
And being with him from a teenage girl
Mm-hmm.
and then having kids really young,
Yeah.
I just, I really wanted my family to work
Mm-hmm.
and for us to stay together. Even though how wrong he did me and he wouldn't stay out past 6 months, and
Mm-hmm.
every time he's like going in and out, I'm having another baby.
Yeah.
Until it was about my last daughter I had,
Mm-hmm.
my last child, I told myself, like, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is really going.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made the decision to get a tubal,
Yeah.
like get my tubes tied, because
Uh-huh.
this is keeps I keep having more kids, and
Yeah.
I don't want to keep having kids with this person where I don't know if this is really what I want, if it's really going to work.
Okay.
And so looking back, and I think what makes me think about it even more is because I have adult children now.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have relationships
Yeah.
and they have their own children.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know for sure I should have left a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
is because I see things in their relationship
Okay.
that they've obviously seen from my relationship,
Mm.
into which they accept it at it of it being okay,
Okay.
or it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
My mom dealt with that.
Yeah.
My dad dealt with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is what how I seen it, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to accept those things.
Right.
And now that my kids are older in their relationships, I try to talk to them about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not me. I tell them all the time, I'm not trying to scold you.
Yeah.
I just want you to like just listen to what I have to say, because
Mm-hmm.
I have some experience.
Yeah.
And it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't want your kid or kids to grow up and think that it's acceptable.
Yeah.
And so I will say I see that sometimes with
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
And then my two younger ones
Mm-hmm.
are different.
Okay.
So those two I grew up with,
Uh-huh.
in which I stood in that season for way too long.
Yeah.
And these two younger ones, I actually really got to raise
Mm-hmm.
and show them better.
Yeah.
Um, Teach them that we don't have to accept those
Yes.
things.
Mm-hmm.
That's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
And to really see your worth and learn how to take yourself out of that situation when you
Mm-hmm.
know it's over.
Do you think it was because when you first had the first two, you were yet still a young gal?
I was.
And then you got grown and
Mhm.
become a woman.
Mhm.
So then you're able to put away childish things and foolish things and now go into that womanhood bag to where I can teach you and guide you and lead you in a whole nother aspect because I'm not a kid anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What made you decide that it was over, that it was done? What was that pivotal moment in your mind that says, this not for me? I'm tripping.
I would say, so he went into prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were already split up.
Okay.
So he did about 2 years, and I moved on out of the neighborhood we lived in,
Mm-hmm.
and had a house, just me and the kids. And when he had got out, he started doing good.
Okay.
He worked and everything. We ended up getting back together.
Oh, okay.
Him move into the house with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after, he fell off and started drinking again
Mm-hmm.
and back to his old ways.
Yeah.
So when I like finally had enough of it is because he got into some more trouble,
Okay.
went back,
Mm-hmm.
and then I told him, like, we'll see how it goes. Like, I
Yeah.
don't really know if I can do this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
And about 2 months later, I said, you know what? I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
Like, I love you. I genuinely love you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
You're a big part of my life. You're the father of my children, but I don't want to be in this relationship
Yeah.
anymore. And I
Yeah.
don't want to, I felt like you're holding me back.
Okay.
So I often think like, had I left a long time ago, I would probably be further
Yes.
in life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it is what it is, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and I learned from that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can just give advice based off of that experience,
Yeah.
especially with my children, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I want them, I want better. We all want better for our offspring, you know.
Right. Right.
So, and then did get into another relationship after that, which was, I don't know which one was really worse.
Uh-huh.
Um, I stood too long in that
Yeah.
relationship. It was like a friendship that just like turned into a relationship,
Okay.
and it was not healthy at all,
Mm-hmm.
into which I lost myself.
Yeah.
And I think for that one,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I stood so long,
Yeah.
was because I lost myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know who I was anymore. Um, and I wasn't seeing my worth.
Why did you lose yourself? What happened?
I feel like because when we went into the relationship, I didn't know that this person had been an addict for so long.
Okay.
And I learned it
Mm-hmm.
after being kind of like getting too deep into the relationship.
Yeah.
And so then it started becoming really toxic.
Mm-hmm.
It started becoming physical,
Okay.
and I was like hiding that
Mm-hmm.
from everyone.
Yeah.
And so I just got so used to hiding it
Yeah.
that like I hid who I really was,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like lost myself.
Yeah.
Became really depressed.
Mm-hmm.
My anxiety gotten worse,
Yeah.
and I just didn't really want to associate with anyone because I was, I guess you could say, ashamed.
Okay.
I felt ashamed of like, why am I dealing with this
Mm-hmm.
when like I have kids and they shouldn't be seeing this or
Yeah.
seeing their mom go through that.
Yeah.
Um, so it was just like, I guess the depression
Mm.
really.
So what was the first telltale sign that you know that it was past the season?
When I knew I didn't want to do that anymore, I didn't want to live like that. I didn't want my kids to see.
But
I
was there
was like
something
hiding.
that he did prior to that you know how you just get
I think for probably it was the abuse.
Okay.
Um, I know when I used to like argue with my kid's father,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't like, he wouldn't argue. He would just leave.
Yeah.
Um, with this guy, he stood for the
Mm.
argument.
Yeah.
And then um he would do like dumb things and like be physical with me, and I would be like, "Oh, I don't even want to fight back."
Yeah.
And I think that's what it really was for me,
Mm-hmm.
was the fact that I didn't want to fight back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to get out of this,
So you
because
didn't
if
want
I
to throw
fight
no
back, it's going to
bricks on
get
him?
worse.
You didn't want to throw no bricks on him?
Which I did. I did want to. But I think my thought of it always was like, if I fight back,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there would no be a stop with him.
Mm. Okay.
And I didn't want my children, and along with my mother who was living in the house,
Okay.
I didn't want them to see me
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Or I didn't want something to happen to me
Mm-hmm.
where there's like no return,
Yeah.
and then my kids are suffering from that.
Can you speak to the young women that may be going through something like that, have gone through something like that, that you can say and contest that when you know that you've reached that point that you should get off? This is a sign that makes you think and understand you stayed way too long.
Yeah. I would say notice those triggers really early.
Yeah.
When you feel like this person cannot control themselves,
Mm-hmm.
it's time for you to get yourself out of that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Um, no matter how afraid you are,
Mm-hmm.
speak up to somebody,
Yeah.
um, and know who you're speaking to,
Yeah.
because you can tell anybody what you're going through, but are they really going to care
Yeah.
to pull you out of that?
Okay.
I had maybe like a couple people that did know what was like really going on,
Uh-huh.
but I would say Not that they didn't care to be like, let me help her or let's do something to try to get her out of that.
Mhm.
They're just so used to it. Like it
Mm.
was normal to them too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I say like know who you're really speaking to,
Yeah. Yeah.
because people that are going through the same thing, that's like, oh, you'll get through it.
Yeah. I've been going through this for 8 years now,
Yeah.
and we all right. And it's like, no, we're not all right.
No.
It's not okay. You know, it's like you have to put your foot down and say enough is enough,
Yes.
because there's really a penalty for staying out of season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like when fruits, they're out of season and you've kept them too long, they're gonna rot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep food in your refrigerator for too long, it's gonna mold. You know,
Yeah.
it is truly a penalty for staying out of season. And God always seemed to warn us. Like you'll see those, like you said, trigger points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I shouldn't have did it that way. I shouldn't have got smart. So what would I expect? He can only take so much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That you then make excuses.